Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Kind of want to give you a quick rundown on how I got my Oculus to stream and capture DCS in VR. I watched a bunch of different videos and kind of put together different things from different videos rather than downloading a bunch of things and trying to get into files and modify stuff. But just real quick, so what I've got on my Oculus is I've got Side Quest for it. I've got that opened up already here. Drag this over. What SideQuest is going to do is it's going to let you get in to the guts, essentially, of your Oculus and change different settings, kind of the same way that you could do with the Oculus app. Just it's going to be a little bit more instantaneous, is what I've been able to do with it. You've got presets, different video capture sizes and things. One thing that I use on the daily is the proximity sensor, so I can take the headset off and put the headset on without it cutting in and cutting out. Second thing that I use is I use Oculus Mirror. You can find that in the program files for your Oculus. So what I can do with it is this is how I capture essentially. So there's just the home screen, but I use that, and then I'll make that full screen on one of my monitors. It is important. You got to have at least 2 monitors for this. Otherwise, you're going to capture the default on what DCS shows on your primary monitor, which cuts off a lot of the side stuff on your windows. And then I'll take this and I'll make it full screen. I'll Alt-Enter it just to make it full screen. And once we get out of that, I'll move that away from you real quick, get that out of the way. And of course I use OBS to do the screen cap. So I'll set that on another monitor. I do have 3 monitors, so I can move things around as needed. But you could definitely do this with 2 monitors. It wouldn't hurt anything. So I got OBS, got the scenes set up. I'll link some things in the description on how to set this stuff up. I'm not really great with OBS. And I'm not super good with SideQuest. I just kind of know what works for me. And then for the editing software that I use DaVinci Resolve. I've got that opened up already as well. And I've got something that I pulled up here. I was going to edit last night, but something went wrong. I think my settings were too high because it was all kinds of stuttery. You'll see here in a second. But the number one thing that I've had to do with this is you can see I got these white lines right here wrapped around the preview video on the timeline, because you can see you still get a little bit of that effect from the one lens that Oculus Mirror captures. And so all I do is I just go to, you can either do 133 if you want a much more narrow field of view, but I do 1.66. That seemed to work pretty good for my last video. I think at a couple little spots you can see a little bit of that black up there. But other than that, it just worked out pretty well for me. Not super great with DaVinci Resolve. That was my first video I made yesterday. I mean, as time goes by, I'll learn how to do more. Pretty much all I did on that last video was cut off a little bit from the front, cut off a little bit from the end, and just sent it. And it turned out okay. But also going to jump in game real quick here. One thing I do use is I do use SkateZilla's launcher because I do VR. So it's handy to be able to drop out of the game real quick, especially if you're doing something with combined arms. That doesn't work very well with VR. So you can launch this. My headset's still hooked up. I'll show you with the mirror. My headset is still hooked up, so I haven't disconnected that at all. But what I can do is I should be able to launch this in VR off. If I can get this to work right. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's still in an odd build. Oh, as I'm sitting here looking at it, and again, this is all still stuff that I'm kind of trying to learn, and don't mind bringing you along for the journey. DCS is booting up on my main monitor, pancake mode. I'm going to drop out of that. I figured out what's going on with this one. So what I need to do is I need to select a build. You can see I got the build slot right here with the paths and everything like that. But what we're going to do now, we should be able to do it. Launch with DCS VR off. And what that's going to do, you can see the status. It's got all the stuff up there, but on my main monitor, that automatically brings it up right away. So it's just like using the standard DCS launcher, but there's a lot of different things you can do with this. I haven't really dug into it too much, but I also haven't had any problems with it, and it seems to work really well for some servers that have both combined arms and uh, regular flying in it as well. All right, so DCS is firing up now. And what I'll do is I'll use OBS to change the screen cap. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to go right here. There we go. So now we got DCS up. All right, so like I said, somebody asked what my in-game settings were. This is what I've got right now. This is after 2.8. Nothing super fancy, nothing super special. It seems to work pretty well for me. I did try turning my pixel density up a little bit. I had it up to 1.6 just to try to make things a little more crisp. And even in my headset, I did notice it lagged a little bit. But in the video I was going to make last night, it was beyond stuttery. So I did drop that back to just 1.0. But feel free to pause the video if you want. These are the settings that I've got. I'm probably going to play with them a little bit because I did notice my first video was a little stuttery. I might play with them a little bit. Hopefully we don't lose too much quality in the videos. Still come out pretty good. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Hope you like it. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments. Brand new channel, so hopefully we can get this going and figure out how to do this. All right, guys, appreciate you coming by, and thanks for gaming with Gunsmoke.